My name is Madison Yates, and I did my summer internship with Northwestern Mutual down in Chattanooga. Basically, a brief background of Northwestern Mutual. Northwestern is a mutual company, which basically means that the policy owners get the dividends paid back to them instead of whereas a stock company, which the stockholders get the profit off of that, or get the benefit, I should say. Northwestern Mutual was founded in 1857, and they have paid dividends since 1872, which basically means that they have paid a little bit of money back to the policyholders every single year since 1872. Northwestern is the nation's largest provider of individual life insurance. They are ranked 114th on the Fortune 500 scale with $202 billion in assets. And Northwestern does business in the majority of financial services, which includes life insurance, stocks, bonds, annuities, health insurance, disability insurance, and we do a lot in the retirement industry as well. Here's a brief video of Northwestern, which basically just says who Northwestern is and what Northwestern does, basically. I'm sorry for the brief pause. The Brian Internet, as you know, is not the most speedy.
Integrity, personal responsibility, teamwork, and growth. Northwestern is all about strength, honesty, compassion,
responsible, admired.
The values that this company is built upon are timeless.
We're changing how people think about their money and how they think about their own legacies.
Northwestern has done that for 150 years, and they will continue to do that for the next 150 years.
Everything we do must be done wisely.
We serve the policy owners and do what is always in their best interest. If you read our mission statement, you'll see that the commitment is to the policyholders.
Our whole value proposition around doing the right thing for policy owners is what's contributed so greatly to our success.
It's a guiding force for us in doing the right things for our policyholders. Not about being the largest, about being the best and doing what's right.
You take care of the policyholders, I think everything else just falls in place. And I think it is one person, one decision, one promise at a time.
This company has given me so much. The people here are so unique.
I had no idea when I came into this business the amount of satisfaction I would get out of the personal relationships.
Our company's always believed that it's important to manage that relationship because the relationship is really what it's all about. The sales will come, the sales will go, but the relationships are what stay.
It's hard not to feel quite a bit of pride actually in what you're doing for people. There are times I ask myself, how did I end up here? And how did this all happen to this, 20, 21-year-old kid? And I've been given opportunities, I've been given chances, I've had people believe in me when I didn't know enough to believe in myself. And I'm just very thankful, I'm very honored, I'm very proud. I'm very lucky, very lucky.
Like I said, that was just a brief video of who Northwestern is, and as you can see from the video, Northwestern Mutual is all about the policy owners, and being all about the policy owners has helped us be very, very successful in our retention rate of our clients. Northwestern Mutual has a persistency rate of 96% for life insurance in force, which basically means each and every year we have 96% of our clients renew those policies. Northwestern Mutual has the highest financial strength ratings awarded to any life insurer by all four of the major credit rating agencies. Northwestern is the nation's largest direct provider of individual life insurance. And like I said, Northwestern Mutual has been around since 1857, and since then we have accumulated some 3 million clients. And how I came about the internship. In my initial internship search, Northwestern Mutual really wasn't on the radar. I'd applied to a plethora of places and really didn't see much success from there, but Gatlin brought in a speaker for a business event in the Ray County room, and his name was Ben Francis, and Gatlin told us that if we went to see him speak, we'd get a little extra credit, and honestly, that's the only reason I went. But Ben Francis, and to kind of tell you about what some of these abbreviations right after his name, the CFP is a Certified Financial Planner, the CHFC, which is the Chartered Financial Consultant, and CLU is the Chartered Life Underwriter. Obviously, Ben's been very successful in the industry. He came and spoke to us, and he kind of told us a little bit of a background of himself and kind of gave us an overview of what Northwestern is and what the financial services that they provide and what they do on a daily basis. I found it very interesting, honestly, and I went up to him simply afterwards just to thank him to come. I said, hey, Mr. Francis, this is Madison Yates. I really appreciate you coming today and talking to us. I really enjoyed it, but I just want to thank you for coming. I'm a business student here at Bryan, and I'm a sophomore, but I just really want to say thank you. I don't have a whole lot of time, but that's basically the gist of what I said to him. And it was a very short conversation, probably less than a minute, but a couple of days after that, Ben connected with me over LinkedIn, and we kind of had an email conversation going back and forth, in which he eventually asked me if I would be open to an internship with Northwestern. And having been rejected by everyone else and knowing that I needed an internship, I told him, I said, hey, yes sir, I'd love the opportunity to have an internship with you guys. And right then and there, he told me to come in 2 days later, bright and early in the morning, for an interview. And going into that interview, I was quite nervous. I'd never been in an interview before, but after the first interview, they asked me to come back for a second interview, and at that second interview, they offered me the position, which I jumped on immediately. And kind of moving forward from whenever I got that job, and what helped me really take a hold of being excited about this internship was the week of training that I spent in late May up in Nashville. Basically, in that week, I learned basically the ins and outs of everything that I was going to be doing over the summer in this internship. And it was then that I really kind of, I guess you could say, fell in love with the job. I was really excited about it, and really excited to see what all I could be, how big of a success I could be in this job. I knew it was going to take a lot of work, but I knew that I'd be able to do it if I put my head down and got to it. But after that initial week of training, I had to take a couple tests, which are actually, both of these things are actually part of my defining moments, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But some of my weekly and daily duties, basically on a daily basis, I had to make phone calls. I had to do meetings, which I did with joint work. And joint work is basically, put simply, is working alongside a partner. I would take Ben or someone else that's been in the company for a long time, had been real successful, knows the ins and outs of the business. I'd take them along with me to the meetings that I had set up, and I would basically sit back and watch how they conduct themselves, how they conduct their business. That way I could get a better idea and better carry myself in the meetings that I had on my own. On a weekly basis, I had to keep up with basically my client book. It was called client building. I'd meet with Ben once a week, and we'd go over my numbers for the week, how many phone calls I made every day, how many reaches I got every day, how many sets I got every day, and on those sets, how many keeps I had over the week for meetings. And then some of the defining moments, like I talked about, was internship training, when I really took hold and decided, you know what, I might really enjoy this. And then another thing that was a defining moment for me was passing the life insurance certification test. Like I said earlier, I had to take the test for getting certified, and what that basically entailed was completing 40 hours of online study and online quiz taking, and then I had to pass a simulated exam with at least a 70 before I was even eligible to take the actual test. On the day of the exam, I was pretty nervous, but I went in there and I ended up passing my life insurance test, which basically meant that I was going to be a certified life insurance salesman in the state of Tennessee. And once I passed that test, I got contracted by Northwestern Mutual, and I was off to my first day of work. On my very first day of work, I was actually able, on one of my first phone calls, to set a meeting for that day. I remember being on that phone call, and the client telling me, hey, I'll actually be in Chattanooga later today. If you'd be open to it, I'd love to get together today. Obviously, I was ecstatic about that, and so was my boss, quite frankly. He told me that never happens, and he was really impressive that I was able to set a meeting on my very first day. Well, not just set a meeting, but set a meeting and keep it for my first day. Along with that first meeting, down the line a couple weeks later, I made my first sale. That was also another defining moment. It was where I was actually able to see some of the rewards from all the hard work that I was putting in. And another one of the defining moments that I had, I was running a road race called Peachtree Road Race down in Atlanta, Georgia on July 4th. And during this road race, there's about 60,000 runners all running at the same time, and I happened to run into somebody. And for confidential reasons of not being able to discuss client details, I met a guy, and we kind of got to talking a little bit, found out he was from around Chattanooga. He was a real successful business startup owner, and I got to talk to him, and he got to talk to me about what it was that I did, and quite frankly, I didn't really understand everything that he did. But later on, I found out, that he really showed some interest in talking with me about these things and going into further detail. So, having nothing on me but running shorts and my running shoes, I picked up a piece of garbage and picked up a pencil, or got a pencil from a cop, wrote his phone number down, and called him the very next day when I was at work. Set a meeting for the following week, and it was actually one of my largest sales for the entire summer. And that right there is a God thing. It was definitely a defining moment. I was extremely excited about it. Going into that initial meeting with him, I learned so much more about him and what he does, and basically his whole company as a whole. And my boss was very, very excited about me being able to have that experience with someone as successful as himself as that one client. But then another defining moment was kind of towards the end of the summer when I was offered the part-time position for next summer. They actually wanted me to stay on all during the school year, which I would just not be able to do. But I've already been offered the position for next summer, and I'm really excited about that. I'm not sure if I'll be taking it just yet. I'll have to see where God takes me, but it's definitely an option. How this internship is related to my major. This internship correlates directly with my major in all aspects of the job. The internship involved me essentially starting and growing my own business. It was my job to find clients. It was my job to build my client list. It was my job to kind of get my hands out there and meet people, and it was my job to conduct those meetings, obviously with joint work at first, but I was basically building my whole client database from scratch, and I was able to work when I wanted to. I was able to have meetings when I wanted to. I made my whole schedule, and there wasn't really anybody telling me what to do. I mean, Ben took up with me once or twice a week, and actually I met with him more than that just to make sure I was where I needed to be in the internship, make sure I was tracking right and had all my numbers correctly. But honestly, I haven't had any classes yet prior to the internship that related directly, but I'm now taking Finance 1 and Finance 2 and Accounting 1 and Accounting 2. So next summer, if I do go back, I feel like I'll be better prepared to do the task, and I'll better understand it at least. It was a love-hate relationship, honestly, with the things that I enjoyed and things I didn't like. The main part of the internship that I really enjoyed was the interaction with the clients, getting to meet all kinds of new people. And it was really affirming to be able to know that, okay, if I do make this sale, that I'm honestly going to be helping this person. This is something that they want to do. This isn't something that I'm pushing them to do. The part of the internship that I disliked was pretty much the constant rejection from all the potential clients. I mean, I'd have so many people to call, and it was just phone call to phone call. People just not want to talk about it. People just weren't interested. And honestly, it comes down to I just don't really like talking on the phone that much. That was definitely the thing I liked the least. As far as job consideration, like I said earlier, I would definitely consider a job working as a financial representative with Northwestern Mutual. I've already been offered that job for next summer. Whether or not I'll take it, that is left to be decided yet, but I'm definitely open to it, and I'm definitely excited to see where God can take me in this field. And that would be my presentation on my internship with Northwestern Mutual. Thank you guys for watching.